Hi, welcome back to Songsmith. My name is Rob Corona, and I'm back here with your next songwriting tip. And today we're going to tackle the second verse. Now, if you're a songwriter and you have done a lot of half-finished songs, which is a typical problem that most people have, they have a hard time finishing out a great idea, and a lot of it is because of the tough job of writing a great second verse. And so we're just here to tackle that and give you some tips on how to continue the journey. And that's just what it is. A song is a journey. From the beginning point to the end point, you're taking the listener on a road, and depending on what type of song it is, it may actually be just that. The first verse may be the beginning of the journey, and then you're reinforcing that and giving the overall theme and the hook. And so a lot of times we lose focus on that second verse, and we try to rehash what we've already done, or we just don't know what to say. So you really want to plan that out. Where do you want the listener to go when you're writing this song? Are you taking them from a place of a problem to a solution? Are you taking them on a story from when someone was young to when they were older, and it all ties into some theme? Or maybe it's not a journey. Maybe it's a song that just presents different perspectives. So your first verse is one perspective of looking at a theme, and then the second verse, after the hook has already reinforced that, you have to bring that around and give a whole other fresh perspective and a different way of looking at that. And so you just make sure you decide what you're doing before you go into write, so you don't frustrate yourself and just end up putting in a bunch of filler lines or not even ending it at all. One trick that works really well is to pretend like you're just writing another first verse. The second verse can be daunting because you feel like you've already said everything that you needed to say. You've got a verse, you got a chorus, you might have a nice little bridge interlude, and you're just trying to figure out what else is there that I could possibly say about this topic, and how do I take it to the next point. Well, sometimes you don't need to do that. Pretend like you never wrote that first verse and go back and try to write the song again and start it off in a different way. And then what you end up doing is giving a different perspective. And then you can look at those two verses, or three or four. Maybe you wrote, 4 different ideas. And then you can decide which one starts the song off the best and which one continues the idea in a strong way. One other thing you want to make sure that you do when you're writing a second verse is to, whatever you did in the first verse, do it again in the second verse. The rhyme scheme, the meter of the words, how many syllables you put into each line. If you have any repetition in there, make sure that you're doing it again. Because what a song is, when you have somebody listening to it, you're gonna sing the first verse, and that's giving them just a taste of what this song sounds like. And then you sing the hook, which catches in their mind. And by the time you get to the second verse, if you don't do the same thing again, that makes the listener have to figure out what you're doing. And so if you want to make sure that you're repeating the same structure that you did in the first verse, so that they already know how to sing the song. There's different words and a different perspective or part of the song that you're singing, but essentially the listener can already anticipate how it goes, and they have a much easier time digesting the song, and they're more involved with it. And if the third verse, fourth verse, doesn't matter. You always maintain that. Now, there's definitely some different dynamics and things you can build into that verse to make it grow, but don't deviate from the structure of the song too much. And add other lines, add a pre-chorus where there wasn't one on the first verse. Keep it simple, keep it repetitive, so that your listener can stay involved with the song and know how to sing it without even thinking about it. My name's Rob. We're with Songsmith here. Definitely follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/songsmithcreative, and we have a YouTube channel as well. Obviously, you're here, and stay tuned for any workshops that we're posting, and go to our website, songsmithcreative.com, to be on the newsletter and see blogs, and we're always posting tips and updates and great features on songwriting to help you craft better songs and become that. So, thanks so much, and we will see you soon.